everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Crime and Coffee Couple. My name's Allison.
And my name's Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, babes. How's it going?
It's going.
Good. You got your puppy next to you again?
I do. She's like our little sidekick.
Yeah. If you saw the YouTube video from a couple weeks ago, maybe, she was there like the whole time. You're basically like rubbing her down top to bottom the whole time. She's just like, oh, yeah.
That's why she likes to sit with me, because I'm always scratching and rubbing on her.
Yeah.
But anytime you see our puppy in the podcast, it's probably that we're doing a morning podcast because our daughter's not around to kind of babysit her.
Yeah. What do we call her? Puppy center?
Sunny Paws.
Sunny Paws
daycare.
Puppy daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's she's just hanging out. And I usually get the YouTube videos up about 2-3 days after. So maybe today I'll surprise you guys. Who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's cute. She's worth seeing.
Yeah. But I was going to say definitely subscribe to us if you haven't already.
Oh, that too.
Do you have a YouTube account?
Yeah, I do.
One?
I don't know.
Have you subscribed to us?
I don't know.
You know that question was coming, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because I was like...
I try to keep my social media to a minimum.
Yeah. If you're ever talking to us on Instagram or anything, it's me, usually. I mean, 99% of the time, unless Allison has my phone in her hand, which you have Instagram on your but it's attached to my account, whatever.
Yeah.
But, boring stuff.
Boring.
Yeah, but exciting stuff. We are not ready just yet, but we got to find a way to make these coffee cups available because we posted on Instagram. Everybody said they love them. So
yeah, they are really cool.
They are very cool.
It's actually our logo.
Yeah. And it's now these are done by our sister-in-law?
Yes.
Because I last said the wrong thing that our sister-in-law did our t-shirts, but you did our t-shirts.
Yes.
And you said those were expensive because they were custom made.
Yes, they were.
Like $35 each or something. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to sell $35 t-shirts, but we made those for ourselves. Now we're going to try to get these in a decent price too. We don't want to just put them out there for $50 or something.
Who wants to spend $50 on a coffee cup? You know what I'm saying?
I want to get the name out there. Plus it's freaking cool.
It is cool. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want a bloody coffee cup in their cabinets?
You know, I always went to like places or like podcasts and be like, why do they charge so much for stuff? Don't they want their name out there?
It's because it's hard to produce it.
Yeah, it is. So we'll see. As soon as it's up, we'll definitely let you guys know. But
most importantly, what's inside our coffee cup?
Oh boy, why don't you tell everybody because you're very excited about this.
Well, against
my will.
Maybe last episode, I'm not sure. Time flies by too quickly, but we talked about how our Nespresso machine, which we use to add espresso shots to our coffee, had petered out after, I don't know, maybe 5 years. And I was missing it terribly. And of course, Mr. Scrooge over here, everything that breaks takes usually 5 times longer to replace or fix than it should. So,
well, in your world, it should be fixed immediately. And there's no such thing as money, and everything should just get replaced immediately.
Not true. But if something brings you great joy, like a good cup of coffee in the morning, yes, that should be replaced.
Don't we still have a Keurig for that reason?
And it's fine.
Don't we still have French presses? Don't we still have coffee beans and the same things of that nature?
At 4:30 in the morning when I'm working, I'm not doing a French press on a Tuesday.
Maybe you should think about that and do it the day before.
Not at all, because then it wouldn't be fresh.
Lots of our friends probably make themselves some tea in the mornings, you know?
I don't. Good for them. Okay. I don't care if you have hot cocoa. I don't care if you have water. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
So I wanted a good cup of coffee. So I started looking at Nespresso machines that actually do cups of coffee as well as espresso.
And they're called the
Virtuo?
The Virtuo line.
Yeah. So, of course, it took an extensive conversation to pull the trigger and get it.
And by extensive conversation, I mean a real look at how much this damn thing will cost us, because the old Nespresso original pods are like 50 cents each or something like that. Like pretty cheap. You can get them from Amazon now, and they're pretty good. So it was like a nice way to add an espresso shot. But these are minimum of $1.10 up to like $1.25 for each like coffee pod, which is sure it's 8 ounces. Most of them are 8 ounces. Some are 5 or 3. But it's damn good coffee. I used to have that one of my startup companies. I worked for a startup software company, and that was the only machine they had, Nespresso. And there was like 50 of us on the floor. I'm like, each of these, like I had 3 or 4 of them because I wanted to have coffee. I like them. And I was like, each of these are costing this company probably $2 at the time. I'm like, well, this is all you have, so I'm going to use them. But
exactly.
It's delicious. It's got like a nice crema on top, like a froth a little bit, just on your regular coffee, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it came from a coffee shop. So on Friday, I'm taking a walk at work, and we're on the phone, and he's got his little calculator out. I'm imagining the paper at the back of the calculator spitting out.
Hey, size doesn't matter.
And of course I can't see him because he's at home, I'm at work. And he's like, okay, how many cups of coffee do you think you're going to have? And blah, blah, blah. And ting, 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 ting. Okay, we priced it out.
Well, and it wasn't like I approved it. I told you this one's going to cost us about $300 more a year. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that. And also, I am not an idiot when it comes to money. I know what things cost, but there are times in life, like I work my ass off. I work every day, and if I want a cup of coffee in the morning, I want a good cup of coffee.
It comes out to 89 cents a day. It's going to cost us more, which, it's quite a bit.
I'm worth it.
It adds up, over 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, you are. And you did. And we did.
We did.
Yeah, we got it at Target, who still does price matching. Thank goodness for Target. So we found it on Amazon and Walmart cheaper, but Target's right down the street, and I don't like setting foot in Walmart. I just feel like I'm going to get hepatitis or something.
Well, it's just really unorganized in there.
Yeah, and I'm probably never going to find the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love Walmart. We're
not
Trust
like
members.
hoity-toity.
No.
It's just chaotic in there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I say they should dispense a Xanax at the door.
Yeah, which would be nice. I think they'd get more customers.
They probably would. They'd get a lot of repeat customers.
Probably lines and lines.
And they'd probably have people passed out inside that have come in and out.
If you're a Walmart executive, hey, think about it.
Think about it.
Yeah, Xanax, boop, right there.
I say at my work, there's certain staff members and nurses that are so freaking high strung. And it's like, those are the ones that think that because they're high strung, they're going to be more productive. I say
like
that as they swipe their badge, a dispenser of Xanax should come out. And then when they clock back in for lunch, it should dispense again.
Yeah.
So that way that covers them for their 12-hour shift.
That's good, Allison. Teach people to cover their emotions and things with drugs. Good job.
It would make everybody's life better.
It's true.
Including their coworkers and the patients.
It's true. That's very true. I want to say thanks for any time you guys are listening to us and you leave a review. I know there's a million different platforms. I got a message from somebody like, hey, there's more than Amazon or there's more than Apple and Spotify. And I was like, I know. I definitely know there are. We see all the stats and everything. But those are the ones you can actually leave the reviews on. Actually, Apple's probably the main review. But there's also one called Podcast Addict that we do pretty decently at. And somebody left a review there, and I'd like to read it if that's okay.
Please, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, this one's by John Z. And John Z said, outstanding podcast, one of the best out there, thorough and in-depth investigative work, and that is well-researched. Everything about this podcast is great, and the hosts have so much empathy and passion towards their subjects. It's always good to have a mix of solved cases on your pod.
Yeah, solved ones are definitely...
It's satisfying.
Obviously, the unsolved ones need to be talked about too.
Yeah.
But everybody likes, to tie things up at the end.
I do personally, but yeah, you got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you for noticing. Allison, I swear to God, after I leave my office here, I work from home. So after I leave my office at 5:00 at night and I come into the kitchen, it's like she's sitting there just tip-tapping away and listening to different documentaries and stuff. Somebody said on our YouTube channel, they said, at the Idaho murders, they were like, well, I was a little worried when you said that you hadn't really heard a lot about it, but then it turns out you did a lot of research. And my comment was Allison does 5 to 6 hours of research per episode.
Yeah, I would never waste somebody's time to listen and not be informed.
Yeah, and mine too. I do 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's because I'm a little ADD or whatever.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But I was doing research Friday night. What was the show we watched on? I can't remember. Was that on HBO Max?
That will not stick in your head.
It will not. No.
It's called The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
You've asked me 4 times, and that's not like you.
No, it's not.
And
I don't.
I know it. Maybe that's why your brain's he's going to know it because it's a video game.
I sent it to you, and I said we should watch this. It's a really good show if you're, open to seeing something new. Check it out.
To give me some credit, also, I thought we should have watched it, but I didn't suggest it because I didn't think you'd be into a zombie thing.
How would I know that, Mike?
I don't know. Okay, so I should blame myself because I didn't bring it up to my wife, who's one of my closest people in my life.
Yeah, I'm your confidant.
You are my confidant.
You're my
just
partner.
Just like my golden girl. You're my golden girl.
That's right.
Yeah.
So on that, should we get started?
Let's get started.
So this is a listener suggestion, the story. It's from Lauren, and I thank you, Lauren.
Real quick, any listener suggestions, just get at us anywhere. We got one through Patreon the other day. Through Instagram's probably our number one. You can tweet at us. I don't check Twitter that often, but Instagram's probably the top, and then you can send us a message on Patreon.
Yeah.
So really any of those is fine.
And I can't tell you how much I appreciate those suggestions, and I don't want you to think I'm, just blowing you off if I don't cover the case. I like to cover things that I haven't heard multiple times on other podcasts. Like somebody reached out to us the other day. I had just heard the topic on Morbid, literally just a couple of weeks ago.
Somebody just suggested Israel Keys.
And he has been covered. I've heard him at least 5 times on it's a thorough story.
Crazy story.
Crazy, horrible story, but you can hear it on so many other platforms that I just don't want to cover it.
Right.
So I don't ever want you to think I'm dissing you. It's just I like to do something that I've never heard before.
Right.
That's my
Fair enough.
typical MO.
Hey, and it's our podcast.
So thank you, Lauren, for this suggestion. This story takes place in the San Francisco Bay Area in October of 2002, just to give you a scene. So this is the story of the murder of Gwen Araujo. And Gwen Araujo was born on February 24th, 1985, in Brawley, California. Her parents were Edward and Sylvia. When she was 10 months old, her parents divorced. It sounds like she was mainly raised from her mom. I don't know what her father's input was in her life. So Gwen was actually born with male genitalia, and her parents named her Eddie. Though even early on in life, she, as well as other family and friends, noticed that Gwen was more drawn to things that would be typically done by females. And I don't ever like to say like the word normal or whatever. You know, if
Definitely don't say that because that's really offensive.
Not in this case. I'm saying generally speaking.
Yeah.
If a 2-year-old little boy wants to play with Barbies, it's ridiculous to me to like say you can't do that. That's for girls.
Hey, our son liked dressing in dresses. He liked dressing in like Minnie dresses, Minnie Mouse, and Cinderella dresses.
Yeah, I think he was doing that for a laugh, to be perfectly honest.
I think so.
He would like come out like laughing.
But I was also in the back of my head like, maybe this is what he likes.
And whatever, you
Yeah.
know, you can't change what's inside of somebody.
He had a huge smile on his face. That's all I gave a crap about.
But the point was, when I'm saying that family and friends noticed that Eddie was being drawn more to what would be typical for a female child.
Yeah, I think everybody understands.
You know, anytime they were playing like a pretend game, Eddie always wanted to be the female person in the role. They specifically mentioned She-Ra. So, this is back in the...
This was like the He-Man, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
She loved experimenting with dress up with her sisters, with hairstyles, makeup. And finally, at age 14, it was 1999, she sat down to have a conversation, a heart-to-heart with her mom. And she told her, I don't feel like a boy. I feel like a freak, and I can only imagine that you must feel like you're trapped inside of a body that you're not identifying with. And that's just got to be terrible.
And like right now, it's a topic that we know a lot more about. But like in 1999, that is like super brave to kind of come out and just be like, you can say what you want about sexuality even then, 1999. The 90s were a weird time. We tell our kids, like, being gay was kind of like looked down on. Not even kind of. It definitely was looked down on in the 90s. And we've come a long way.
Yeah, and I mean, we still have a long way to come.
For sure. But
we're moving.
So age 14, she's talking to her mom.
Yes. And, she said, I feel like a freak. I don't feel like I belong in this boy's body. And after a lot of tears and talking, Sylvia thankfully assured her daughter that she would fully support her transition. And I think that that's amazing, especially back then. Like you said, people like, wait, what? You want to be a girl? But her mom said, like, I love you and I will accept you. And that's fantastic.
Man, I just want to be my kid's life, whatever happens.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, Gwen is starting to use the word Gwen or the name Gwen rather than the name she was born with, which was Eddie. And, she chose the name Gwen after her favorite musician, Gwen Stefani.
Oh.
Sometimes she would identify as Wendy and also Lita, but mostly Gwen. So she began to grow her hair long and was going to start using hormone therapy as well as undergoing surgery at some point in the future. Not yet at this point. So Gwen's older sister, Pearl, she didn't understand what was happening. She began to notice that Gwen was growing her hair out, beginning to wear makeup. The first time Pearl saw her sister's makeup smeared, she yelled, "What is wrong with you?" She didn't fully grasp what being transgender actually meant until after her sister was gone. Because, it was all new for the family. They were just kind of evolving and growing as things happened.
If I could talk selfishly, I mean, it's definitely still a confusing subject to me, and you're doing a hell of a job sticking with the pronouns. Yeah, I try to learn whatever I can. I want to, address people however they want to be addressed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched a video the other day. They're like, so if somebody just wants to be called Tom, and like that's their middle name, but their given name is like Rick, you're going to be like, no, I'm calling you Rick because your name's Rick, and that's the given name, blah, blah, blah. Right. It's like, no, if somebody wants to be called Tom, then go ahead. If somebody wants to be called she, then I'm going to refer you as her or she, whatever. And I don't know. Like, I just want people to be happy,
Exactly. So it took time for the family to adjust to the changes, but they gradually began to accept accept Gwen as a woman. Pearl said that Gwen was bullied in junior high because of her voice. And when they're saying because of her voice, I don't know if this was before she came out and said that she wanted to be female. It was kind of confusing what I was reading. But then as she moved on to high school, people can be very mean. And it was a very toxic environment for her. So Sylvia ended up pulling her daughter out of school for safety purposes. She didn't want to send her out there where she was being kind of tormented.
And like thrown to the wolves, basically, out in the wild.
And of course, even to this day, there's so many topics and conversations about the whole bathroom use. Like there's so much controversy about that.
Hey, every time I go to a baseball game, I know guys don't care if a girl comes in there. I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead. I know one side, but it's a lot different on the girl side when you have a person that, has male genitalia coming in. That might be, something interesting. But
that was a thing at school too. What bathroom is Gwen using? So she wasn't allowed to use the female restroom. She was often teased and threatened in school. So eventually she transferred to an alternative high school. But then starting in the school year of 2002 to 2003, she didn't return. I don't know if she planned on getting her GED or what the case was, but she did not go back. So in September of 2002, when Gwen was 17, she met 22-year-old Michael Magidson, who invited her to hang out
Magidson?
with... Magidson?
Okay. I was going to say, it's an unfortunate last name.
I know, but when you say it quickly...
M-A-G-E-D?
No, M-A-G-I-D. Magidson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He invited her to hang out with his friends. So he's 22, and he's inviting her to hang out with 22-year-old Jose Merrill, 19-year-old Jaron Neighbors, and 22-year-old Jason Cazares.
So these are a bunch of 19 to 22-year-olds?
Yes.
And how old is Gwen at this
17.
time? 17.
So the night they met, they smoked marijuana together. Gwen was flirting with the men. She told them that her name was Lita. Over the next several weeks, the flirtation turned intimate, and Gwen sexually engaged with Michael and Jose. During her encounter with Jose, Gwen told him that she was menstruating, and she was basically pushing his hands away so that he couldn't feel that she had male genitalia.
Okay, so we're talking oral stuff here and handies.
And also something else, but I don't want to go into details. You can use your imagination as to what may have gone on.
Oh, wow. So the old trunk.
So after several similar situations, the pair began to wonder why Gwen wouldn't allow them to touch certain parts of her body. At one point, Jaron Neighbors asked the other three, could this be a dude? And none of the men took the question seriously. They kind of just laughed it off.
Well, that's kind of a little, dishonest. You want to be upfront as much as possible,
So, she wasn't lying.
No.
I guess she lied about menstruating.
Yes, but, and also, you want to at least, I don't know.
It's a very tough situation.
It being the person that is going after this person that I'm assuming that I'm assuming has certain things, I would be mad if I found out otherwise.
So in late September, Gwen got into a physical fight with the girlfriend of Paul Merrill, which is Jose's older brother. The girlfriend was Nicole Brown, and the fight started after Nicole challenged Gwen to strip for the men. Nicole was caught off guard when Gwen punched her with force, and Brown said that the guys were tripping because she was smaller than me, but just as strong. And Nicole said she fought like a guy. Michael and Jose began discussing the possibility that Gwen was a man and said that if she was, something bad would happen. Michael made the comment to Jose, whatever you do, don't make a mess. On the night of Thursday, October 3rd, 2002, Jose Merrill was having a party at his house in Newark, California. It was a rental house. He shared it with his younger brother, Manny, and his older brother, Paul. So basically, it's a house that has three very young people. I don't know how old Manny was, but we know that Jose is, 22?
Yeah.
So that, and then the older brother, Paul.
And anytime there's a bunch of young people living together, I think we've had another story where it was some young people living together and it doesn't end well.
Yeah, it's just a lot for young people to be on their own like that. So this is in Newark, California.
22 is not young people, but 17 area.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Manny was probably somewhere around there.
Yeah.
The house was known to be a party house, and that night they had invited Michael. So that night it was Michael, Manny, Paul, Nicole, Jaron, and Jason, and then Gwen came along too. So as the night progressed, they sat around the kitchen table playing dominoes, and they decided to confront Gwen and demanded that she take her pants down to prove that she wasn't a man. Michael took Gwen to the bathroom. I don't know what went on in there, but they stayed in the bathroom for about 30 to 45 minutes. While they were in the bathroom, the rest of the group was, going back and forth. Do you think that Gwen's a man? And they're asking Nicole this question, and Nicole's thinking, no, I honestly think that Gwen is a female. So they told her that despite engaging in sexual acts, Gwen stopped them from touching certain parts of her body, and that's why they were thinking that she was hiding something. So Nicole volunteered to check. She knocked on the door of the bathroom, and they let her in. When Nicole asked Gwen if she was a man, she said that Gwen looked down. Nicole spread Gwen's legs as hard as she could and grabbed at her crotch area. Nicole left the bathroom basically screaming to the group that Gwen is an effing man. This is an effing man. It's like going on and on. So when Gwen finally left the bathroom, because initially she stayed back, Michael immediately punched her and knocked her to the ground. They lifted her legs and pulled her underwear to the side to confirm that she was a man. So now the whole group knows for sure that Gwen has male genitalia. So several times Michael tried to put Gwen in a chokehold, but each time the group did intervene and pull him away.
Well, here's the thing. I can see being, let down that you were lied to or, not told the complete truth. But you don't have to choke somebody out, I guess. I maybe, the punching thing, I'm not going to do that to anybody, but I could see being angry and misrepresenting whatever. And it's you have male genitalia, so whatever. But I could see being angry, but the choking out, that's a little far.
It's insane. And, just say, get the hell out of my house and
right.
don't
I don't want to talk to you again or whatever
with this person again.
This is why we have words. This is why we have communication.
Yeah.
Fights and things are when adults can't communicate properly. It's basically toddlers, losing their shit.
Like having a fit.
Yes.
So Michael, Jaron, and Jason went outside at this point, while Nicole and Jose stayed inside with Gwen. We know Paul is there somewhere. Manny is there somewhere. They weren't involved in this part. So Nicole is trying to calm down a distraught Jose. I guess he was literally losing his mind. He vomited. He was carrying on. Does this mean that I'm gay? She assured him that he wasn't gay as he cried. And Nicole suggested that they just let Gwen leave.
And it's not like being gay is a disease or something, but I can definitely understand, where you're coming from. You thought you were making out with a female and the person has male genitalia, and it's a lot for a younger person to handle, for anybody to handle, It's
sure,
just
it's a lot to absorb.
Yeah, it's just somebody that isn't what you thought they were.
Right. So Nicole, again, is suggesting that they just let Gwen go. She went over to the bathroom where Gwen remained and said, why don't you just leave? And at this point, Gwen exited the house through the front door. But of course, the three guys were out there, Michael, Jaron, and Jason. They forced her back inside. Gwen tried to get the phone to call her mom, though she was stopped each time she tried. Manny testified that he also tried to help get Gwen out of the house, but Jaron and Michael stopped him, and they brought Gwen to the living room. She begged them to just let her go. She continuously apologized. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please let me go. I have a family. So Jose went to the kitchen and got a frying pan and struck Gwen in the head with it.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's just... It
Which
escalated.
One? Jose?
This is Jose. So he hit her in the head with the frying pan and then went back to the kitchen and grabbed a can of food. They said it was a can of tomatoes. Again, hit her in the head.
What the hell is wrong with people? In what area is it okay to just beat somebody? It's not cool, man. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. It's highly illegal. This is all horrible shit.
And not to mention, you have at least 3 guys ganging up on this one person, which is very cowardly.
I don't care what this other person is. It's super cowardly. I can't stand when I see a video of a bunch of dudes jumping on somebody.
Right.
It's you're not a super macho man because you got 5 people against one.
You've got your whole gang behind you, backing you up.
A little puss piece of shit is what you are. I think that every time I'm oh my gosh, I don't know how they could take their shirts off and be all big time. It's no, you're a puss because you needed 3 other people. One-on-one is the only way to go. I cannot stand when groups of people jump somebody.
Right. So before all of this was going on with the frying pan and the can of food, Nicole went to her boyfriend Paul's bedroom. He had left as things started to become confrontational.
Probably the best move.
Right. And when she came back out into the family room or living room, she saw that Michael had blood all over his hands and that Gwen was bloodied on the couch. this is when Nicole, Manny, and Paul decided we're getting out of here. They went, I guess, and stayed the night at a friend's house. So they're now out of the picture. So Jaron and Jason then left the house in Michael's truck to pick up a shovel and a pickaxe from Jason's house. And this is never good. What in God's name are you going to the house to get a shovel for?
Well, I'm going to have to guess that they already thought that she was dead. And,
of course,
they're like, well, now we got to get rid of the body, man.
No, at this point in time, she was not dead.
I know she probably wasn't because she was, but unconscious, I'm sure, laying there.
So when they returned, they said that Gwen was still conscious.
Oh, okay.
They said that she was bleeding from her head wound and sitting on the couch. But then Jose saw that she was bleeding and looked at the couch and basically forced her off the couch saying, don't get blood on my couch. So
they've like a switch has flipped inside of Jose and these other guys. And they're just like, we're going to finish this off.
The fact that they left the house while she was still conscious and sitting up.
Not to mention, that's fantastic for what they're going to have to serve, because that's like premeditated.
Yes.
You know what you're doing. It's not like heat of the moment, like whatever. You can almost explain away a part of that if you have a crazy lawyer that really like looks into the stuff. But going to get some more instruments to commit what they're about to, I'm sure, is terrible.
Exactly. So at this point in time, after Jose ordered Gwen off the couch, Jose began cleaning the couch while Michael continued to attack Gwen. He punched Gwen in the face twice until she fell to the floor. He then drove his knee into her face with such force that her head hit the opposite wall, breaking the plaster. Jaron said that Gwen still appeared conscious at this point. Michael then wrapped Gwen in a comforter to control the amount of blood on the carpets and brought Gwen to the garage. Jaron testified that Michael strangled Gwen with a rope and Jason hit her with a shovel and said that he was coming back from the garage. He didn't actually witness Gwen die. He claimed that he saw Michael raising the rope to Gwen's neck and that he later told the others that he had wrapped the rope around Gwen's neck and twisted it, and that he wasn't sure if this killed her or if the blows from the shovel that Jason inflicted had killed her. Either way, they knew at this point that Gwen had died.
I'm really not sure. We did a lot of different things that could probably have killed her, between shovels and ropes and things of that nature, and punches and wrapping her up and unable to breathe and whatever. Like, it seems like all this stuff probably stemmed from homophobia.
100,000,000%.
Like, just because these dipshits are worried that like other people will be like, you're gay, man. Oh, you're gay. And then all their friends are going to say it, and just other words for gayness. But it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, it happened. Like, we need to get to a point in society where it's just like, it happened. Okay, well, yeah, I made out with a guy. Okay, whatever. It happened. Yeah, well, I didn't want to, but it happened. Okay. And then that needs to be the accepting side of the other side, too. Oh, yeah, well, that's weird. Anyways, you want another beer or something?
Right.
Yeah.
So I do know during various interviews with police, when they asked Michael, did you put the rope around her neck and strangle Gwen? He did whisper yes. So he, they do have varying stories of who did what.
He whispered it.
I did hear him admit that, he did it.
He's like, do I get a lower sentence for saying yes?
Exactly. It's like,
just
idiot.
Man up, you piece of shit. You're man enough to beat somebody.
So Gwen's autopsy showed that she died of strangulation associated in addition with blunt force trauma to the head. So it all coincides with what they said happened. So the four men then drove her body nearly 4 hours away to the Silver Forks campground in El Dorado National Forest. On their way home, they stopped through the McDonald's drive-thru for breakfast.
Well, you need a snack wrap or something,
So when Nicole later asked Jose Merrill what happened, his response was basically, let's just say she had a long walk home. So when Sylvia woke up the next day, this is Gwen's mom, it was October 4th, and I believe it was a Friday if I'm not mistaken. So she's going into the bathroom to get ready for work, and she noticed that Gwen's contact case was in the cabinet and it was open, signifying that Gwen hadn't come home that night and put her contacts in for the evening. So immediately she was very panicked and she was sure that something was wrong. Gwen was reported missing the following day on October 5th. Initially, it was said that her case wasn't taken seriously, partly because she was transgender, and also because Gwen was known to stay overnight at other people's homes. So, of course, it's, often, I'm sure she'll be home. She was probably just staying over at somebody's house. So it wasn't exactly taken seriously. Police had no information until dumbass Jaron, and thank goodness he is, told a close friend. So, of course, they're out in the desert digging and burying Gwen, and they say, we're taking this to the grave. We're not going to say a word.
That's always the initial thought. Until something's offered, and then all of a sudden people start opening up a little bit.
So Jaron tells a close friend about what happened that night. And word got back, honestly, it must have spread around town, because word got back to Gwen's family that a girl who had been outed as a transgender at a party had been murdered and buried in Tahoe.
And of course, Gwen's family right away is just like, oh my God.
Gwen's not home, and this sounds like this could be her. So on October 9th...
real quick, thank God for being a stupid dumbass and telling somebody.
Thank goodness.
I'm so thankful for these stupid criminals and stupid dumb pieces of shit like this guy who let it out of the bag and can get found.
And they had said, where Gwen had been taken to and buried. Had Jaron not told somebody, she would have never, ever, ever been found.
Yeah.
So
almost like bragging a little bit.
100%. And we would not be sitting here telling the story. Family would never know what happened to Gwen had this person not confessed.
We wouldn't have enough information on the story, and we probably wouldn't be able to remember, Gwen.
Yeah, and not to mention her family would have never known what happened to her. So on October 9th, Gwen's aunt called the police with the information. My niece is missing, and we're hearing word about this person saying that they killed somebody. So investigators contacted Jaron's friend, who he had told. And this person agreed to wear a wire, when they went to speak with Jaron. And of course, he was more than happy to tell the whole story again.
Oh, yeah. He's very proud.
While the person was wearing the wire. So then they brought Jaron in, of course. And during a police interrogation with Jaron, he went into full detail about exactly what happened that night and who was involved.
It's probably one of those movies where it's like, and then what happened? And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, so you did kill her. And leans in with the microphone. It's like, oh, yeah, strangled her and everything.
Yeah. And, obviously he's hoping he can get off scot-free because he's telling the police that Michael was the one with the rope and Jason was the one with the shovel. And we will eventually find out that those two things are what killed Gwen. So I think Jaron's hoping that he gets off just as the informant.
Jaron's the one with the wire?
Jaron is the one that the friend wore the wire and spoke with.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that told the friend that eventually this is how we know Gwen was buried out in the desert.
Well, yeah, you're hoping, but you're not going to get off scot-free unless you make that deal before this happens.
So you'll find out what happens here. Okay. So on October 15th, Jaron took police to Gwen's body. She had been hogtied, bludgeoned, and strangled to death and buried in a shallow grave under rocks. In addition to Jaron, police arrested Jose Merrill and Michael Magidson, who were accused of strangling Gwen, and a few weeks later, so initially Jason wasn't brought in. Again, Jaron got Jason pinned on because he was writing letters to his girlfriend from prison, and that's where it implicated Jason. So police, of course, are intercepting these letters, reading them, and saying, oh, there's a fourth person involved here, Jason.
They're intercepting them and sending them back and making shit. It's great. I love when people are stupid.
So this implicated Jason as the one that struck Gwen in the head with the shovel. So at this point in time, Jason was arrested. Paul Merrill was released after Emmanuel and Nicole confirmed that he had left the house with them, because there was reports and multiple things that I read that Paul had also engaged in sexual encounters with Gwen. So it was potential that he could have been equally upset as these guys were, but he did not have any part in. He was there. At some point, they saw that Michael had blood on his hands. They saw that Gwen was on the couch bloodied. They left at that point. So Nicole, Manny, and Paul are basically just excluded from any of this. So the case became a cry for transgender rights, and vigils and marches were held in several San Francisco Bay Area cities seeking justice for Gwen.
Real quick, Nicole, Manny, and Paul, nobody called police or anything.
Nobody called police. The only reason why we know what happened is because Jaron told a friend.
And Nicole, Manny, and Paul didn't see any of this stuff?
They did not see any of it. When they left the house, Gwen was sitting conscious on the couch.
What, okay. Was she was, oh yeah, this is when they went to get the pickaxe and stuff, or no?
No, they left, and that's
before she was beaten or anything?
No, because they did see blood on Michael's hands, and Gwen was bleeding. That's at that point, Jose had struck her in the head with the frying pan and the can of tomatoes.
Okay.
So she was bleeding.
Okay. And Nicole, Manny, and Paul know that she's bleeding and she got hit.
Yes, they know she was hit with a frying pan, I believe. They just saw she had blood on her. She was sitting on the couch at the time they left.
And Manny said he tried to help her get out.
He did. He tried to let her leave the house, but the boys brought her back in.
Nicole and Paul didn't try to help at any point.
They did not help. They left the house and went and stayed at somebody else's house when Gwen was still conscious and sitting up on the couch.
So that's, I mean, there's something I don't want to just glaze over that these people didn't help.
They did not help, and they did not tell police. And they knew.
You can say whatever you want to make yourself feel better.
What they were told about, they said that she took a long walk home.
Yeah.
They knew she was dead. I'm positive of that.
Now, I get, like, you don't want to be wrapped up in some, like, a murder that's going to, like, ruin your life. Guaranteed. That's if you get, like, jail time and stuff like that, your whole life is different because, you have this on your record forever.
Right.
But at the same time, as a human,
At no point in time did they ever contact the police.
I mean, even an anonymous call or something would be cool.
Yeah, they didn't contact the police that night to say, hey, there's crap going down at this house. There's a girl on our couch. She's got blood on her. She's been hit. These guys have her in the house.
Pretend you're a neighbor. Be like, yeah, there's a neighbor. I heard some commotion. It sounds like somebody was crying.
Something's going on.
Check it out. Go hang up.
And then after the fact, they did not call to say, hey, I just want to let you know, I think somebody got killed at this house.
Yeah, that's questionable.
Yeah.
Questionable ethics and the thing.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, humanity.
Yeah.
But they did nothing. They were not brought into
no charges of anything.
Nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
Interesting. Okay.
So again, there's marches happening throughout the San Francisco Bay Area in honor of Gwen, seeking justice for Gwen. Gwen's murder was compared to the brutal death of Matthew Shepard. This happened 4 years earlier in Laramie, Wyoming. Matthew was a 21-year-old gay man who was beaten, tortured, and left to die on October 6, 1998, basically just because he was gay. So at the time of Gwen's murder, Newark Memorial High School just happened to be getting ready to stage a play about Matthew's death. It was called the Laramie Project because it happened in Laramie, Wyoming. And the community connected the comparisons between what happened to Matthew and how Gwen was killed. And the case garnered both good and bad national attention. Initial coverage by several media outlets were describing Gwen as a cross-dressing man. So people are getting all the terminology wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm still get confused on things, when you talk about pronouns and transgender, and I want to make sure that I'm respectful and everything, but sometimes it's a lot because I'm not used to that area. I don't know anybody personally, so it's really hard for me, and I try my best.
I get that.
So in the 1999, this is
2002.
Oh, 2002. So in 2002, this is like just out of left field, and that that's what I would assume people are talking about, like cross-dressing and whatever,
right.
Which is, I imagine, very offensive to say. But
so the whole thing was that Gwen had not yet done any kind of surgical changes, but she identified as a female and wanted to be known as a female. So they were getting her pronouns and everything wrong on the news. Some argued that she was being deceitful with while the others firmly felt that she was just being who she was at the time that she was killed. So some people were like, yeah, she was lying to them and blah, blah, blah. So police and the family, even the family, were referring to Gwen by her birth name, Eddie, and used the pronouns he and him. I heard so many of these family members being like, yeah, and he was just such a great person, and, not saying she as Gwen would have wanted.
Well, and then the news will do that the same thing, and
right.
And now it'd be a little bit different because we have more understanding and we've had more information given to us. But back then, I know it doesn't seem so long for us being 40-something-year-olds.
It was 21 years ago,
but it's a long time. Yeah.
So transgender activists were educating the family about what it means to be transgender and the proper use of pronouns and the name that Gwen wanted to be used with. She wanted to be called Gwen, not Eddie. In her mind, Eddie was gone. That was a different person. So, So again, telling the media and the family, please refer to Gwen as she, her. And then you've heard of this pastor, Pastor Fred Phelps.
I don't know if I've heard of the pastor, but I've heard of this piece of shit church.
So this is the Westboro Baptist Church.
So they're like widely known as they just stir shit up, and they're the worst people on the planet. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, just disgusting. So he's encouraging all these plans to like picket the Laramie Project. threatening to picket Gwen's funeral. People are marching around with these horrific signs. I mean, just disgusting.
God hates F words, disparaging word for gay people. You will die,
basically saying rotten, burn in hell, Gwen.
And this is not by no means a representative of the Christian faith. These people are just looking for, time on television and stuff. They are like the extreme sect of some kind of weird whatever, not even part of Christian. They're pieces of shit, these Westboro Baptist
they're horrible
Church.
people.
They're horrible human beings, and I'm sorry that I'm even talking about them. The whole reason they do it is so we say it, so I'm not going to say it anymore, the name of the church.
So basically he had threatened to picket Gwen's funeral. He didn't end up doing that, but I guess he had come to Gwen's mom's house, Sylvia's house. She saw this man. And then he had sent flowers to her funeral to the point that they were worried that there was something wrong there. And I think a bomb squad even got involved to take them out of there because they didn't know what he was capable of doing.
I don't know if that was one of their first things, but in the last 10 years, they're way more they will picket everything. And they've gone to a soldier's funeral and whatever that might have been gay and just picketed there. It's horrible. They're terrible people.
I don't know how anybody can have that kind of hate in their heart.
I mean,
and then say they're a child of God and I'm preaching the Lord's word.
No, it's not Lord's word. So if you have that hate in your heart, just stay home and have the hate in your heart. You don't have to go to share with other people. That's kind of a general rule of anything. If you're really sad and you hate certain things, you don't have to tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told a family member, you don't have to tell people that you hate something. You can just keep it to yourself because you know what? Nobody cares that you hate it.
Yeah. So Gwen's funeral was held in Newark on October 25th, 2002. Again, Pastor Phelps didn't attend to picket. There were plenty of other anti-gay, anti-trans demonstrators there, which who the hell shows up at a funeral?
Let the person die in peace and their family mourn properly. Don't bring the attention to yourself, right?
Crazy.
I mean,
these people are grieving their loved one's vicious, violent death. And you're out there carrying signs of what is wrong with you?
Crazy.
What the hell is wrong inside of your soul that would... You're sitting there with paint and markers, making the sign, stapling it to a piece of wood, putting it in your car and driving to a person's funeral. At what point in time did you not think this might be a bad idea?
What's the end game here? You think somebody's going to see this, be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be transgender. There's going to be picketers.
It's only right to be straight and marry a man marry a woman, and a woman marry a man. That's it.
You make a great point.
That's just it.
Yeah.
So Gwen's mom, Sylvia, released 17 butterflies at her daughter's funeral. I guess Gwen just absolutely loved butterflies. She released one for each year that her daughter lived. And some friends from her high school came dressed wearing angel wings, kind of to divert and overpower these people who were demonstrating, keep them away from the grieving family, let them have their peace and all of that.
That's a good idea.
In 2003, Jaron agreed to testify. So Jaron is the whistleblower here. That's
the one that somebody had a wire, and Jaron was the one that told the person with the wire everything.
Yes, and also led police to where Gwen's body was.
Okay.
So Jaron agreed to testify against the other three defendants in exchange for pleading no contest to a reduced charge of involuntary manslaughter, which he gave on February 24th, 2003. And on August 25th, 2006, he was sentenced to 11 years in prison. He ended up being released sometime before 2016. So he ended up serving somewhere around 9-10 years. So during his indictment proceedings, he said that as the men were burying Gwen out in the desert, they continued to demean her, and he testified that he's saying out in the desert, I can't believe anyone would be this deceitful. And while they're burying Gwen, Jose is saying that he was so mad I could still kick her a couple of more times as she's dead on the ground.
Well, they're all feeding off each other. Yeah, man, yeah. Did Jaron did he do anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think he physically did anything. He helped bring her back into the house multiple times.
Did Jason and Jose say that Jaron did anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So before the first...
But he was there. I mean, he could have stopped things and whatever.
He also helped bury her.
Okay, yeah.
So he was there the entire time.
So, he got off decently. 9 to 10 years is not bad for being a major part of somebody, killing somebody.
Absolutely. So before the first trial, the prosecuting attorney argued that simply being transgender should not have been a death sentence. The first trial for Michael, Jose, and Jason began on April 14th, 2004, a year and a half after Gwen was murdered. Throughout the trial, both the prosecutor and the defense used male pronouns continuously. They continued to use what they call as Gwen's dead name. So the dead name is Eddie. And they demonstrated clear anti-transgender bias in the courtroom. The defense's strategy focused on manslaughter in the heat of passion and tried to prove that there was no premeditation in Gwen's murder and that she was the guilty one, guilty of sexual deceit. Magidson attorney said that he wasn't biased, but was shocked beyond reason to learn that he had unknowingly had sex with a man, which is a variant of what's called the gay panic defense. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
No, I'm not studied up on stuff like that.
So what that means is that it's a legal strategy where a defendant claims that their violence was because of same-sex sexual advances. After 9 days of...
So, sorry to cut you off. So I'd imagine it's something like, you're with somebody, you meet somebody at a bar, they look one gender, you take them home, you engage in sexual stuff, and then whatever afterwards, they might be like, oh, look, I got something that you didn't think I had.
And you lose your mind and strangle them to death.
To death. That's a lot. Yeah. I mean,
it may or may not be defense. It could be a brutal attack. But it's this whole gay panic defense that I did what I did because I was so shocked in the heat of the moment that this is what I did.
And is there, I'm sure you don't know, but are there like cases where people got off for the gay panic defense? Okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that there is. I don't know that for 100% fact,
especially
but
at
yes.
the time, right?
So after 9 days of deliberation, it ended in a mistrial on June 22nd, 2004. The jury deadlocked 10-2 in favor of acquitting Jason and Jose of first-degree murder. They also deadlocked 7-5 in favor of convicting Michael for first-degree murder. And Gwen's family is devastated because now we're going to have to face another trial to figure out what's going to happen. So the day after the first trial ended, the court granted Sylvia permission for a posthumous name change, and on June 23rd, 2004, Sylvia was able to legally change her daughter's name to Gwen Amber Rose Araujo. Amber Rose was the name that Sylvia would have given her child had she not been born male. She would have named her that. So this was actually kind of significant because it was the first time in California history that a court granted a name change after the death of a trans person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, if any time that you can look past like previous things, I would say that would be a good time. So that's nice.
And a couple days later, on June 25th, the first trans march was held in San Francisco. They very much focused on honoring Gwen, and Sylvia actually spoke at the event. And moving forward in the coming trial, the prosecution and defense were required to use Gwen's name properly and not continue to say Eddie, because now it was legally changed. And they also had to use proper pronouns in respect of her.
Well, it's interesting because even Gwen's own family got educated.
Yeah, and you know what? Sylvia did speak out and say, I blame myself about a lot of the confusion out there because personally, I did say the name Eddie. I just want to say that like both people are gone. Gwen and Eddie are gone, but she admitted her, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
A mistake. And
yeah.
Yeah. And that's really big of her, actually, to say that. A lot of people don't own up to stuff. Be like, I don't know, it's confusing,
Because she admitted, we're still learning everything.
Perfect. That's a totally acceptable way to go about things. So with the unacceptable way is like, no, I'm going to do this. That's like a little kid being like, I don't like cheese. It's like you never even tried it.
Yeah.
So it's just like be like, oh, I said the wrong thing and I'm willing to learn the right thing.
Exactly.
That's like so refreshing. It's like, oh, okay, awesome. And then most transgender or gay or anybody that you might not understand will be accepting of you and be like, okay, well, let's learn.
Exactly.
Or race, the same thing. Like if you're like, I don't know how like a certain race does things, ask somebody and they'll
happily tell you.
I'm sure, right? Like if somebody asks me how white people do stuff, I'll be like, okay, well, this is my typical thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Because you're open and curious rather than shut down and being like, no, you were born a man. You're a man.
Yeah. It's open and curious is the best way to go about everything, man. If you can like just politically, like with religion, anything, just be open. And that's when you can talk about stuff is just be able to have your mind changed if a good like idea is put out there.
Right. So the second trial started on May 31st, 2005, and Michael, Jose, and Jason were charged with first-degree murder with hate crime enhancements. 4 months later, the jury found Michael and Jose guilty of second-degree murder, and they faced 15 years to life in prison. When Jose was given the chance to speak, he was, sobbing his eyes out. He tearfully expressed a deep sorrow and regret to Gwen's family. And they actually felt that he was, genuine and that he was sorry for what he had done.
These guys aren't, murderers. They got involved in something and then they got into, they are. I'm sorry to say that. They're murderers, but they're probably not the typical ones we talk about where they're probably going to go on and do other murders and stuff. Hopefully. Yeah. But I can definitely see how it would be like looking back and be like, I don't know why the F I did this like that. Whatever, the passion got the best of me. I hate the person that I became. If you can say that honestly and really come out and just be like, that was a horrible mistake. I'm sorry to Gwen's family and everything, and
I saw the video and he did look absolutely devastated. He's like, I wish I could just go back to that horrible day and just change everything that happened, and I'm just so sorry that this happened.
You can respect that.
Now Michael, on the other hand, not at all. The only thing he expressed when he was given the chance to talk was that he felt anger about the verdict that he was given. So,
and they got the same verdict, Michael and Jose.
Yes, they did.
So I'm just going to say second degree murder, they got off kind of easy, I would say, right?
Yep. And I will tell you, Jose was granted early parole in 2006 with the support of Gwen's mom. She actually felt that he was sorry. He regrets what he did. She supported him leaving prison.
It's interesting that, they would look at Sylvia at all, in the legal system. I don't know if they did or didn't, but it was, and I don't blame Sylvia because she seems to be open-minded too. It's like this guy clearly knows he did a horrible mistake. He took my daughter away from me, and this is something I'll never have back, but he feels remorse.
Yes.
And, I forgive him or whatever.
Jose was released in 2016. And Michael's parole has been denied twice, once in 2016. The last time was September of 2019. So he still remains in prison. So
what was he sentenced to? I know that you said 14 to life, but
it was 15 years to life in prison.
And that's what their sentence is like. You're going to have 15 years to life. And that's it. Is that how California
Such
works?
a strange thing because they were so young,
right? That's a big difference. I mean, 15 to life.
Because they were about 25 years old at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 75 years difference between these two.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
So, they have the potential of being released when they're 40 years old, but obviously.
So he's going to go on trial or parole or not, whatever. He's going to try for parole every 3 years?
It's what it sounds like. Yeah. So thus far it's been denied. And then.
So was it 2022 again that he tried? Or no?
It was September of 2019 was the last time.
Right.
That's the last time. I don't know when the next time will be. So once again, the jury deadlocked on Jason. This time 9-3 in favor of a conviction. To avoid a third trial, Jason's lawyer reached an agreement with prosecutors for a conviction of manslaughter on December 16, 2005. He was sentenced to only 6 years in prison, with credit for time already served. And on top of that, he also requested that his sentence be delayed because he had the birth of his third child coming up. So this child was expected in March or April of 2006. This was granted. So he was allowed to be out at his child's birth. So he ended up being released from prison on July of 2012, which is interesting to me because Jason is the one that hit Gwen with the shovel. We know that between that and the strangulation, Gwen was killed.
Yeah, so how the hell did he get off of so much less than Jose and Michael?
I don't know.
No, there's no reason, right?
No.
Because he didn't give the final blow, maybe? He may have.
We don't know which killed her. Was it the strangulation or was it the blunt force trauma?
Who gave the initial punch?
Michael was the biggest leader of this whole thing.
Okay, and then Jose came with a frying pan.
And the can of food. And then Jason came with the
shovel.
Yes.
They never used the pickaxe. That was probably to dig the hole or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. So they all had a
major roles.
Yeah.
Yes. But
I wonder if Jason's family had money and got a really hotshot lawyer.
I don't know.
Huh.
But regardless.
You would think they'd all be just grouped together, the exact same sentence. That's a 3-for-1.
Yeah, I don't know why they separated Michael and Jose as the 15 to life, and then Jason got
Maybe age? Were they different ages, maybe?
No, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jason was also 22 years old. Jaron was the 19-year-old. The rest were 22.
Okay. Huh. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And so he got manslaughter 6 years, so he's out.
Oh, yeah. He was out in July of 2012. He's been out for 11,
Wow. Living a regular life.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And hit somebody with a shovel that could have murdered them.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So Gwen's murder resulted in some changes to the California law. In 2005, Arnold Schwarzenegger signed the Gwen Araujo Justice for Victims Act, which instructs jurors not to let bias against a victim's gender identity or sexual orientation have any influence in the decision of, how you're sentencing somebody.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a law already, but I mean, it's good to have it out
Highlighting
there.
it.
Yeah, just be like, hey, by the way, even if you're like super like something that some kind of belief you have
doesn't
thinks
matter.
that this is wrong, it doesn't matter. Look at this person as a human being.
Yes.
Like that.
Point blank, this is a human.
Maybe it helps during like the trial where you can't bring up the fact that this person was transgender or whatever it was, because it doesn't matter because they're human.
What happened was this human was tortured and beaten and killed and brought to the desert and buried.
Right.
That's the point of this
Facts.
process.
Right.
Not that they had a penis.
Right.
Has nothing to do with it.
Right.
So in 2014, the law strengthened by Governor Jerry Brown and the Assembly Bill number 2501 became the first state law in the nation to prohibit the use of gay panic or trans panic defenses. You cannot say, I was so stricken with the fact that this person had a penis that I killed them.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be, I mean, I didn't know that was like an okay thing. Like, that's not cool. You need to have enough control of yourself. It's not okay to kill people. I mean, or strike them. It's just not okay.
For any reason.
Like, I see these, again, I like fight videos, right? So.
Oh, gosh. I cannot stand them.
Right. Well, usually it's UFC stuff and it's not a lot of like whatever. But it's, I don't know. It's so I see people, get jumped or something. And it's like, yeah, man, that's what you deserve because you touched his woman or whatever. It's like, no. We live in a society where it's never, ever, ever okay to punch somebody.
Right.
Never.
I mean, I guess if you're in your home and somebody's coming in,
well, yeah.
100%, we're not talking about that.
No,
That's
if
protecting
you're,
your family.
Yeah, and if they have a knife or something, absolutely. But if the person's standing there and just saying, you suck, you're
or you slept with my wife,
if they're
or whatever.
If they're only using words at that point, you cannot punch that person. You cannot assault them. It's called assault. That there's a reason. So it's people in the comments like, yeah, that's what they deserve. It's like, I get where you're coming from, but that's illegal. So.
You know what that made me think of? I don't know which two hockey teams were playing. I don't know if it was the Lightning and was it the New York team? And that one guy was taunting the fan of the other team because he had their jersey on. And he just ran and just sucker punched him in the back of the head. And the guy immediately went down and like passed out.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Recent?
Yeah, like within a year.
Okay. Well, the fan punched the...
So it was two fans of two different teams.
Oh, I
Let's
did
say
see
it was
it.
the New York Rangers and the Lightning.
Yeah, it was
a Lightning fan saw a Rangers jersey and just started heckling the guy.
Sure, like, Rangers suck.
Yeah, we all do that at the stadium.
Yeah.
It's all in good fun. It's a game.
I think he was in New York.
Well, okay, possibly. I don't know the circumstances.
Right.
I don't know. I could be saying this wrong, but the situation was a fan of one team ran up to the other one without hesitation and just jacked him in the head.
Yeah.
And the guy went down like a ton of bricks, and it's like,
and the guy took off.
Holy crap! That is assault. That is insane. This guy could have been killed to the head. And thankfully, it was caught on video, and this guy was immediately found. But it's like, you can't do that.
He took off running like a puss.
Like a total puss.
And like, luckily, it was on video, and people were like, oh, yeah, I know that dude.
Yeah, I know who that is, and it's him.
That's Jim.
So the point, like you're kind of saying, is like, you can't do that. You can't go through life just hitting people and killing people just because they did something that you feel was a betrayal to you or deceitful or whatever.
If it's not a direct act of you being in some kind of danger, you can't hit somebody.
We're not talking about self-defense here. So a defendant couldn't claim that they committed a murder because of the victim's gender identity or sexual orientation. That was off the table. As of November 2022, 17 states have bans on the use of gay and trans panic. So not many. 17.
Because it's, we're talking about it a lot more. It kind of seems like it's come more to light in the last few years.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just I wish people were more open-minded. So the trials lasted 3 years, and after they were complete, Sylvia, Gwen's mom, said that the court procedures took an absolute emotional toll on her. She lost her job as a legal assistant. She ended up losing her home. She had horrific PTSD because she had to be there to support her daughter. The things she heard, and she said that people were looking at her like she was the problem, like your daughter did this, not these guys. It took a real toll on her. She stayed with relatives for some time and now lives with one of her grandchildren. Her relationship with her children has also been affected, because she's been so emotionally taken with the whole process. She wasn't there as much as she would have liked to for her other kids and their kids.
Sure. Their whole family life was
all
affected.
suffered from this.
Yeah.
So she became an advocate for transgender rights and obtained a grant from Horizons Foundation to speak to schools about what it's like to raise a transgender child, easy for me to say, and what the transgender youth faces in society.
That's a great idea.
Which is great.
Yeah, because that's, the parents, you always want to try to have like a reason, your son or daughter, whatever, was taken, and it's like now you can go out and talk to people that are going through similar things that you did. Maybe they can learn from you. That like, wow, my son or daughter just told me they're transgender, and what do I do? Like, how did you handle it? And what do you wish you would have done differently?
Exactly.
And that's fantastic information to give other people.
And talking to the kids at the school. Like, if you notice that a classmate that you've always known as a male is now all of a sudden transitioning to a female, to be open and accepting of that.
Or there's people that don't identify as either because they're not sure.
Yes.
It's like, it's confusing for me because I don't know. I don't know how that must feel. And so, if I ever get an opportunity, I will talk to a person that doesn't feel like they can identify. And I'm sorry, I don't know the right way
Is it non-binary?
Yeah, non-binary. So I might, I would love to ask some questions,
Yeah.
and hopefully they'd be open enough to share with me, and I can learn.
I bet you they would be, because they would appreciate the fact that you were curious and wanting to learn, because, we kind of live in a sheltered world that we don't know transgender people. I don't have any friends that are transgender, but I'd be certainly open to hearing what you have to say and
what you're going through, and some support you as a human being.
Yes.
Just because we're all on Earth together here. We got to make the best of this whole crazy thing.
Everybody has their own battles that they're going through, whatever they are. Some might be harder than others, but, I think we just need to be more accepting and open and loving the fact that we're all humans. Like, DNA-wise, we're all very similar.
And admit that sometimes things are confusing. Like, it's confusing to me because I don't know. And, a lot of times I just kind of shut down during conversations because I'm like, I'm not sure I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
And I just want to keep my mouth shut. So it's like, I don't say anything bad.
And if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, when I was doing the research for this, I wanted to be sure that I was using the right words because I didn't want to be offensive. So it's just important to me that, we don't offend anybody. Because again, like I say, we're all humans. We're all going through this life together. Like, let's just be kind to one another. So Gwen's older sister, Pearl, feels that, they kind of lost their mom because she's stuck in her grief and living in the prison of her own mind. But I am glad to hear that Sylvia's out there and trying to make the best that she can and bring something positive to light with the fact that this horrific thing happened to her daughter. So Gwen's murder helped inspire the transgender community, and somebody named Bambi Salcido went on to establish the Trans Latin Coalition and began to fight for transgender rights after learning of her death. Her mother, Sylvia, feels that in her death, she literally saved thousands of lives. I can't tell you how many people have told me, because of your daughter, I am free to be who I am.
Man, even one person saying that's got to feel amazing.
Amazing. Because I would imagine it's got to be terribly hard and scary to have all these emotions trolling around in your chest and in your mind, and to have the courage to come to your family and friends and say, I want to be who I'm meant to be.
Yeah. Like, that's why if you're somebody who doesn't, like, quote unquote believe in gayness and stuff like that, like, and if you say that to your kids at any point in their lives, like, I think you're doing a huge disservice.
Well, of course you are.
I'm being nice because I'd love to use much harsher words. I don't have a lot of respect for anybody like that, because it's like, there might be something in your kid that has that thought and you're nailing it down. You're like hammering it, being like, nope, leave it in there.
This is bad.
Leave it in there.
This is
Don't
bad.
talk to me. Like, every opportunity I get, I try to say it to our kids, like whether you're with a guy or a girl or whatever. I try not to say. I'm like your next partner. I try to say.
Yeah,
that.
and we always just say no matter what, we'll love
the person you love, like the person you marry.
Mm-hmm. We will love and support you.
And it's hard, but it's yeah.
Our biggest thing is just don't marry an asshole.
Yes.
Like somebody that's terrible. I don't care
what gender they are.
If they're respectful, hardworking, productive people, like that's
and they treat you right.
You're treated right and you're happy.
Yeah.
It's really bottom line of what it comes down to. So that is the murder of Gwen Araujo. And, I'm so sorry that what happened to her happened. It's so unfortunate and sad. But the only person that's left in prison at this point is Michael.
Wow. Well, it sounds like he deserves to still be in prison. So
he does not seem like a very nice person.
Yeah, let him rot.
Mm-hmm.
And then thank you for going over that. And I'm sorry for Gwen and her family and Sylvia. Hopefully she's still going out there and talking to people. That's awesome. Hey, so we do a podcast every single week on Sundays. And if you like these podcasts, there's a way to get more. Did you know that, Allison?
I did know that, Mike.
We do bonus episodes every other week. So literally every other week, we've pounded out these bonus episodes. I think there's like 17 out there.
Yeah, something like that.
If you're a binger, if you're binging the hell out of these, you're like, I wish you had more. Well, I got good news for you.
You can become, have 17 new ones.
Yeah, right away, like instantly.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm snapping like that.
Or if you simply just want to help support us.
Yeah, that's very appreciated.
And, keeping us going and moving forward and producing and all that good stuff.
Yeah, go look in the messages and information. There's a way to our Patreon page. It says, want bonus episodes? Click on that one. That's the Patreon. So we said we had enough, a lot of patrons, and we love each and every one of you, but we're going to talk about our new ones each week. So thank you to every single patron, especially the ones that have been with us
every single one.
Day one or even 5 days ago.
Whatever.
Okay? So thank you to Alyssa and Elise for joining the team.
Yes,
and,
we appreciate
here's
you.
Here's like a cup of coffee for you. I drank it all, but if I did have some, I would drink even more. There's a little clank, and I'm gonna
cheers to you guys.
It's dry. You can see that's me talking into my cup. So hey, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate the heck out of every single one of you, and treat each other nicely and love each other and all that good stuff.
Like my shirt says, choose happy, choose kindness.
And like my shirt says, have skeleton bones. We all have these bones under our skin, right?
Yeah.
We're just human beings with bones walking around, bags of bones. That's all we
just
are.
Be kind to one another, be accepting, be open, be nice.
Yeah, and maybe, if you're into that thing, have some intercourse with somebody you love.
Hey, whatever keeps you happy, choose happy.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
On that note, bye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.